Okay, so the Eagles defense is clearly hoping to have a major bounce back performance against the Browns, as team leader Brandon Graham just called out some of the Birds' big defensive issues and made it clear they must be better in these areas. Meanwhile, Sidney Brown seems to be fired up for his return and ready to embrace whatever role he's given, while Cooper DeJean is ready for what is expected to be his first NFL start. And his Eagles teammates seem very confident in the rookie as well. Plus, Nick Sirianni delivered a very crucial message to the team this week, but will he take his own words to heart? We're going to talk about that and all the other latest Eagles news starting right now. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles, and we are just a couple days away from what is hopefully the start of the Birds' turnaround this season, as they will obviously face the 1-4 Cleveland Browns at home in what is hopefully a classic get-right game, as despite the Browns having some talented players, they just are not a very good football team 5 weeks through the season, with the flat-out disappointing and very subpar play from quarterback Deshaun Watson being at the center of it. But the poor performance on the field this season isn't the Browns' only concern leading into the matchup with Philly, as their injury report this week has been extremely long and filled with key players, with guys like Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Jack Conklin, Nick Chubb, and many others missing time or being limited, and in total, the report has 20 different guys listed on it, which is just insane, so that certainly doesn't make things any easier for the Browns, who were already struggling mightily as is. And for the Eagles, things are obviously looking up on the injury front, as so far during the week, everybody on the roster have been full participants in practice, aside from Nakobe Dean, who has been limited with an ankle injury. And some have actually wondered whether Dean's injury could possibly open up an opportunity for the rookie Trotter Jr. to maybe get some playing time if Dean were to be out, as with Devin White obviously being cut just a few days ago, Trotter Jr. is now officially the Eagles' backup Mike linebacker, which Nick Sirianni confirmed in his press conference on Wednesday, and he says that he's ready to do it.
Mike Trotter ready to be the backup Mike?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, these aren't just things that we make decisions on as far as no evidence. Like we practice every day, we walk through every day. You know, we meet every day, obviously, and come to those conclusions in that aspect.
Trotter Jr. is definitely a very intriguing player to me. Obviously, him being the son of Eagles legend Jeremiah Trotter is a big part of it, but he also has had some really nice moments in the preseason, and there were a lot of reports coming out of training camp noting that Trotter was making plays and impressing at times, so he definitely is someone that I think can make an impact in the future. That being said, though, I wouldn't expect to see him playing a big role on defense this Sunday, as despite being limited in Wednesday and Thursday sessions, Zach Berman is reporting that Nakobe Dean is going to play, citing that Dean said that his ankle injury is nothing to worry about, so hopefully he goes out there and has a bounce back performance after having a not so great game versus the Bucs where he did miss 5 tackles. But Dean wasn't the only guy who struggled to tackle in that game, as obviously one of the Eagles' biggest issues on defense as a whole just this entire season has been tackling, which is why the Eagles place such a huge emphasis on getting it corrected during the bye week, and even changed the way they practice tackling, as now instead of using the donuts that they used for a while, they are practicing tackling on actual people, which I don't think there is any questioning that that's a huge upgrade, and one that should definitely help the Birds fix their tackling issue, and cornerback Isaiah Rodgers seems to agree with that, as he said this about the new tackling drills on Thursday.
I think we already know, we just got to tackle better. So we got a new drills, instilled in practice, and, a different mindset going into the games. We got to make those type of plays that we know we're capable of making. So it's just going to come down to us getting the ball carried down.
We all saw those new tackling drills yesterday. How much of an immediate impact do you think something like that can make?
I definitely think it's pretty, it's pretty good, especially for us. In different situations, we got to understand, like, you can't tackle a bag all week. So, tackling humans throughout the week, even, being safe on the bright side. So I think it's going to all just show up on game days.
Hopefully these changes made in practice do translate on the field like Rodgers said, because the Eagles just cannot continue to tackle as poorly as they have and expect to win games and have good defensive performances. Speaking of which, tackling obviously isn't the only issue that the Birds defense just has to improve on, as frankly, the defense just really has been bad in many different areas so far this season, whether it's playing too soft in coverage and allowing defenses to kill them with the quick game, or having trouble stopping the run, or just not taking the football away as they are last in takeaways. I mean, there's just a lot that the Eagles defense has to improve upon, and Eagles leader and standout edge rusher Brandon Graham actually just recently called these issues out, so don't worry, we're going to get into that and so much more in just a minute, but real quick, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the rest of the season, then make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. I think that's a win-win for the both of us, because not only do I get more people consistently watching these videos, but you don't miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this. So again, subscribe, turn on notifications, notifications, and also drop a like, because that also really does help me out a ton. Let's see if we can get to 600 likes on this video. And now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. So as I was saying, Eagles captain and legend Brandon Graham recently just spoke to the media and talked about the state of the defense, and he kind of called out some of the issues and said that they just have to be better in these certain areas.
What are you guys seeing that can be fixed?
You know what? The missed tackles. I mean, that's us. That's something that we can fix. We get numbers to the ball. Make sure that you continue to take your shot, but numbers to the ball is going to cover up a lot of that. So, and making sure that you detailed in your work, being where you're supposed to be, making sure that you, in our case, getting to the passer. And then, when we do get to the passer, get them on the ground. And then, the corners for sure want to get tighter just from last game, because you see people going to try to throw quick on us and stuff like that. So you just always look at what the team is and what they've shown already, and then just know how people going to try to attack you off stuff that you was weak at in other games that might come up in the game, even though they might not run that type of stuff. But people always throw little wrinkles in there just so that you can be honest, you know what I'm saying? And they want to see if you cleaned up what you didn't do in other games.
I know you guys also, you're last in the league in takeaways. Mm-hmm. I know you guys obviously want to get that ball.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's early in the season still, but what are you seeing in ways that maybe you guys can try to improve in that area as well?
Just make them when they come. I know it's a couple times where Q had a couple picks that he could have took, but, I mean, it could have changed a lot. Just even for us, falling on the ball, we didn't recover some fumbles that we had, but the ball going to start bouncing our way. It's just one of them things where you just know to stay with it. Get people on the ground, number one, that's making sure we tackling, because the missed tackles we got to do. But I know that the missed tackles come from trying to hunt at the ball sometimes too, so you gotta have a good balance of both.
It's definitely good to hear BG being really honest here, because he's right. I mean, the Birds just have to be better in all these areas defensively moving forward if they want to have any chance of accomplishing their goal, and whether they do fix these issues remains to be seen, and we'll have to wait and just see what kind of adjustments and changes they made to try and fix them. But it is definitely good that it sounds like the Birds have placed a high emphasis on improving these things during the bye week, and also I do think it's worth noting that getting better all starts with being honest and admitting that there is an issue in the first place. So again, just glad to hear BG being honest about what they have to do to be better, and hopefully they can make those improvements and be much better in those areas. And it honestly sounds like that message of being honest is something that Nick Sirianni has been emphasizing ever since the bye week started, and more specifically, the message of being both hungry and humble is something that I have heard multiple players say this week, and Nick also of course said it himself on Wednesday. Plus, it seemed to be the main focus of one of the team meetings earlier in the week, which you can hear in this motivational speech by Sirianni that the Eagles social media team released.
You gotta be so hungry for this. That's the only way it's going to take another step. And are you humble enough to say, hey, this is what I need to get better at? Are you hungry for it? Are you starving for this? Do you want it so bad that you can't sleep? So we got to make sure that we are honest with ourselves and we attack this thing. We know where we got to make some strides. And if the men in this room do that, right, sky's the limit.
I definitely love that message from Nick there, and I think it's very important that everyone in the building embraces it moving forward. But that includes himself, and at this point, I think Sirianni just has to take his own advice and be humble enough to put his ego to the side and let Kellen Moore have full control over the offense, as just based on all the evidence, it seems that Nick has yet to fully let go of his control in the offense, and many, including myself, think that it's holding the offense back. So I think that if he does take his own advice here and just let Kellen Moore have full control, then the team will be much better off and improved moving forward. So while this message is nice, Nick has to follow it himself too. So we'll see how different things look offensively this coming Sunday. And of course, it will surely help to get some of their best players and weapons back in A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, and Lane Johnson, who have all been full participants in practice all week. However, as of the time of the recording of this video, DeVonta Smith still has yet to be cleared from the concussion protocol, so he's going to need to do that in order to play in this game, obviously. However, the reports are suggesting that Smith will clear protocol today and be available for the game, so we'll see what happens. You guys may actually already know whether or not Smitty has been cleared or not, and obviously the final injury report later today will give us a much better idea of where Smith is at and what his game status will be, so we'll see what happens. But again, the assumption is that Smitty will return for this game, so that's definitely a good thing. And the same goes for safety Sidney Brown, who has been back out on the practice field this week for the first time since his ACL tear way back in January, and it's going to be very interesting to see just what kind of role Vic Fangio and the Eagles give him on this defense. But regardless of what that is, Sid is going to be ready for it and he'll embrace it, as in a press conference on Thursday, he talked about his return, and I honestly think the main takeaway is that he's just super fired up and ready to be back out there.
I mean, like, it's been a long time coming. I'm just excited to be back out there. Whatever role they put me at, I'll own it to my best of my ability, and I'm excited to be back with the boys and playing football again, because it's been about 8 months. So I'm just excited to be back on the field with my teammates and the coaches and everything. So
what was the hardest part of the rehab?
I would say it's just being patient. I think that's for me, that was the hardest thing, because you want to be out there really around the 6-month mark. I was ready to be back out on the field with them, but just understanding that there's gonna be brighter days ahead, and you're gonna be feeling better in the future, and knowing that I gotta look out for myself. Because if it was up to me, I'm telling you, I probably would have came back at 6 months. But I worked hard with Jerome Reed for the past 8 months, and we're back in a place where I can return. I can be back to 100%.
Again, it's just super, super exciting to have Sid back out there, and it's awesome to just hear how fired up he is to return and how hungry he is to just play football and help this defense and team. And again, based on what he said, it sounds like he'll embrace any role they give him. So we'll see what that is real soon. But again, I am just super, super excited that he's finally back and he's going to be out there very soon. And I'm also super excited that the rookie Cooper DeJean is expected to be out there for the defense as well. As like I've talked about in previous videos, the reports are that DeJean is expected to take over the starting nickel cornerback job from Avonte Maddox, which is just a huge step up for the rookie who really hasn't played many defensive snaps all season. But the Birds seem confident in him. Otherwise, they wouldn't be giving him this opportunity. And the players also seem confident in the rookie as well, including Isaiah Rodgers, who had this to say about DeJean on Thursday.
You've been seeing the secondary all training camp. A lot of talk about Cooper DeJean. Is he ready to take the next step? What do you think?
Yes, that's my locker mate. That's my guy. So I'm rooting for my guy. He's been waiting on this. Battling with an injury throughout training camp and just getting ready to perform. So I'm ready to see him, make plays.
Definitely good to hear Rodgers express confidence in DeJean like that, with him preparing to take on this much bigger role. Because, again, this is a rookie who hasn't really played many meaningful snaps yet, so to hear his teammates express confidence in him is definitely a very good thing, and it's also good to hear that DeJean himself seems confident and ready to go, as he said this in a press conference on Wednesday.
I've gotten more and more comfortable, each week, being out there, getting reps, so I've been preparing like I'm gonna play, so that wouldn't change if my role changed, just gonna go out there and still prepare the same way.
What's the biggest difference in that comfort level from the start of the season to now?
I think just getting out there and seeing it, really. Seeing where I have to be in certain coverages in our defense. And just getting a feel, for where my help's going to be in each call. Knowing where my help is and where everybody is on the field. Just so I have a better understanding of how I can play my man and my different leverages too.
So again, glad to just hear that DeJean has stayed ready, and now that he's more than likely going to get his opportunity to play a lot of snaps and start, he'll be prepared for it. And personally, again, I'm just really excited to watch what DeJean is able to do, as I think he's a really talented player. He's obviously super athletic, he brings a nice element of physicality, and I also like the speed at which he seems to play the game. So I'm sure there will be some mistakes and bumps in the road, as of course he is a rookie, but overall I'm just excited and confident that DeJean will end up being pretty good as this team's starting slot cornerback. But what do you guys think? How confident are you in Cooper DeJean, with him looking like he's going to make his first NFL start on Sunday? You guys can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And also, while you're at it, again, make sure you guys just subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the rest of this entire season. And also, while you're at it, again, make sure you drop a like to show some support. It really does help me out a ton. Again, let's see if we can get to 600 likes. And if you want to watch another Eagles video going over some news from earlier in the week, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.